Previously on Keeping Up with the Kenyan Politics.
Suddenly umekuwa very clever na umekuwa malaika haraka. Sasa wewe ndio unatupatia lecture kusema fanyeni maandamano, pigeni serikali. Na jana ulikuwa hapa hata miguu yenye hata ile penye ulikanyaka ukitoka mlango ya State House haijakauka.
One day you are commander in chief. The next you are chief instigator. You were the president the other day. Today you thrive in radicalizing the youth against Ruto. How can you be suddenly clever? These are the hard-hitting statements from Kenya's interior CS to the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Kipchumba Murkomen has accused former President Uhuru Kenyatta of trading his presidential sash for a megaphone, allegedly rallying the nation's youth to destabilize President William Ruto's administration, painting Uhuru as a mastermind behind anti-Ruto fervor. But is this a case of political pot stirring or a genuine call-out? Let's unpack the drama. Ruto government, it seems, can't catch a break. If it is not Kenyans flooding the streets in protests, it is a relentless information war eroding their credibility. When they are not sparring with the opposition, the international community piles on with critics. Since taking office, Ruto's administration has been dogged by accusations of governance missteps, rampant corruption, confusion, leaderless, rudderless policy, both domestic and foreign, that critics slam as unfair. The result? Whispers of a failing state, stunted economic growth, and a corruption index climbing faster than Kenya's famed Mount Kenya. It is not surprising that President William Ruto was even ranked as the second most corrupt president in the world. Tough times for the government. But Murkomen's latest jab at Uhuru underscores a deeper, thornier truth. Kenya's political arena is a high-stakes chessboard where old alliances crumble and new rivalries flare. As the Ruto-Uhuru feud reignites, the nation watches, caught between governance woes and a battle of wits where no one seems to be playing nice.
Wewe ulikuwa president jana, hata wino yenye ulikuwa unasainia decisions kama rais, hata haijakauka. Lakini suddenly umekuwa very clever na umekuwa malaika haraka. Sasa wewe ndio unatupatia lecture kusema fanyeni maandamano, pigeni serikali. Na jana ulikuwa hapa hata miguu yenye hata ile penye ulikanyaka ukitoka mlango ya State House haijakauka. Suddenly very clever. This exploitation of our young people is not right. And I want to ask leaders across the political divide. This is not an issue for political gain. This is an issue that we must, all of us, act responsibly. Because the youth bulge is not a question of today. It's been happening. But tomorrow also it's going to be worse. We will have higher numbers. If we don't pull together to jenge factories. Mwana Rais ametembea, ameenda kuuza investments za Kenya so that we can get factories, we can get investors bringing money to employ our young people. This is an area that we must, all of us, close ranks, because as a nation, we need to deal with the issues of our young people.
Murkomen, in his April 2025 remarks, questioned the sincerity of Uhuru's activism, suggesting the former president's sudden focus on governance issues was opportunistic, especially given his own record during his time in office. Uhuru left office in 2022. Their bromance was over. Ruto's Kenya Kwanza administration has been trying to distance itself from Jubilee's legacy, changing everything from CBC to CBE, from NHIF to SHA, among others. But the past keeps creeping up. Murkomen comments are a clear sign the gloves are off. This is not the first instance that the Ruto-led government is attributing current challenges to Uhuru's administration. In 2023, when Murkomen served as Transport Cabinet Secretary, he publicly blamed the Jubilee government, of which he was part and parcel of, for the poor state of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, known as JKIA. At the time, the airport faced criticism for issues like leaking roofs and power outages, which Murkomen attributed to long-term neglect under Jubilee's leadership. He noted that the Kenya Kwanza administration, which took over in 2022, inherited dilapidated infrastructure and struggled to address the problems due to the extent of the prior mismanagement. However, this narrative is complicated by the fact that both Murkomen as a senator and Ruto as deputy president were part of the Jubilee government, raising questions about shared accountability for those past failures. At the core of this political clash lies a pressing national issue: youth employment. Uhuru's calls for youth agitation resonate with a demographic facing significant challenges. In Kenya, young people aged between 15 to 34 make up 35% of the population, yet they face an unemployment rate of 67%, far higher than the national average of 12.7%. Article 55 of the Kenyan Constitution mandates that the state ensure youth access to education, employment, and participation in governance, but economic constraints have hindered progress. The frustration among young Kenyans is palpable, and Uhuru's message taps into this discontent. While Murkomen frames Uhuru's actions as politically motivated, the underlying crisis of joblessness remains a critical challenge that both leaders' administrations have struggled to address.
The second big problem we have is our young people. Again, let us not cheat ourselves. It is our young people. We have a youth bulge that, if not properly handled, can be a time bomb that can blow this country to pieces. And the handling of that has to be done extremely carefully. Extremely carefully. That is not a problem of this community or that. It affects us all. But how we manage it, we must manage it very carefully. We cannot manage it through inciting them.
The clash between Murkomen and Uhuru reflects a broader divide between President Ruto and his predecessor. Once allies under the Jubilee party, Ruto and Uhuru's relationship soured during the Uhuru's second term, culminating in a complete fallout by 2022. Ruto's Kenya Kwanza administration has sought to distance itself from Jubilee's legacy, often pointing to past failures to justify current challenges. Uhuru, on the other hand, has positioned himself as a critic of the current government, advocating for accountability. This ongoing rivalry continues to shape Kenya's political discourse, with each side leveraging public issues like youth employment and infrastructure to critique the other, often at the expense of addressing the root causes of these problems. As Kenya moves toward the 2027 general elections, the tensions between Ruto's administration, the people of Kenya, and Uhuru's camp are likely to intensify. The youth, a powerful demographic, will play a pivotal role in the shaping of the country's future. Whether Uhuru's advocacy will lead to meaningful change or merely fuel political rhetoric remains to be seen. Similarly, the Ruto administration faces the challenge of addressing systemic issues like unemployment and infrastructure to maintain public support. Kenya's political landscape is at a crossroads, and the coming years will test the resilience of its leadership. What do you think about the latest spat? Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.